Hello, dear students. In this video, we will cover the literary devices used in the poem A Work of Artifice. Though I have done it in my previous video, but I am exclusively making this particular video so as to cover A Work of Artifice literary devices. So here's a breakdown of each figure of speech used in Marge Piercy's poem. We need to understand why we use literary devices. We use them to uh, enhance the themes and messages uh, that are being given through a particular poem. For which I will make a separate video where I will cover all the themes. All right. So after this, please do watch that video as well. So without any further ado, let's begin with the first and the foremost literary device, the most important literary device used in this poem, and that is metaphor. Now, what is a metaphor? Metaphor. First, let us understand what a metaphor is. Metaphor is a figure of speech that makes a direct comparison between two unrelated things. Okay, two unrelated things. Comparison is made without using as or like. If I use as or like to compare two things, in that case, what happens? We call it as simile, but this is not a simile. If I use as or like, it becomes a simile. If I do not use without using as or like, if I make comparison between two things, in that case, it is metaphor. Now, if you see the metaphor in this poem, we have not one or two, but three. First is a bonsai tree. Bonsai tree is compared to women in the society. Gardener is the society itself. Okay, this is the society. The gardener is the society, and also he also represents the external forces, not just the society, but any kind of external forces is represented through uh, gardener. And last is pot. Pot represents societal expectations. Societal expectations. Any kind of expectations by the society or the roles that confine the women, that is your pot. So these are three metaphors here. First is women represented through bonsai tree. Second is societal expectations. I'll just write the short form here, societal expectation, that is represented through pot. And third metaphor is gardener himself, that is society, that is gardener. I hope this is clear. So these are three metaphors in the poem. Let's move to the second figure of speech used in this poem, and that is imagery. Now, what is an imagery? Imagery involves using descriptive language, describing something in such a way that it create a vivid sensory experience. So I'm not saying vivid visual experience, but a sensory experience. So when I talk about sensory, sensory means sight, sound, smell, touch, taste. Yes, by reading itself, you can feel all this. So if an author is describing how the soup is being made, you can actually feel like you're smelling it. Sometimes there is a sound which is being written, so you can actually feel your vivid sensory can make you feel like you can hear the sound. So similarly, in this poem we have imagery, but it is a visual imagery. We have different kind. Here in this particular poem, it is visual imagery. For instance, whittles back the branches. So whittles back the branches. When you read it, you can actually imagine the gardener cutting down the branches. So this is a visual imagery. Similarly, the attractive pot. Now, of course, how much he's whittling back the branches, how attractive the pot is, that is completely up to you to imagine. But this is an imagery and it is a visual imagery. Moving on to the third figure of speech used in this poem, and that is irony. Irony involves the contrast between the appearance, it's basically the contrast between the appearance and the reality. So, reality can be different from the appearance, that is the contrast. It is often used for highlighting a discrepancy between what is said and what is meant, or between expectations and outcome. Let me give you a few examples. Okay, these are irony. Let's say a fire station. The fire station's burned down. So it is ironical because the place which is designed to prevent fire and house uh, from catching fire, it ends up catching fire itself. So the fire station burns down. Similarly, a pilot who's supposed to fly a plane. So a pilot with a fear of height. A police station gets robbed. A plumber with a leaking faucet in his house. These are all the examples of irony. And the most prominent these days is posting on social media about how social media is a waste of time. So these are all examples of irony. What is the irony in this poem? The irony here is the this gardener. This gardener is calling the plant lucky. It's calling the tree, bonsai tree, lucky. So this is a false comfort that is being offered by the gardener to the tree. So it says the irony lies in the statement itself, but the word is lucky. It highlights the absurdity and cruelty of restricting the tree's natural growth. Now, for the woman, you can say, oh, you're so lucky to be confined in a house. No, nobody is lucky if the person is confined. So, this is a figure of speech, and this is irony. Moving on to fourth figure of speech, that is symbolism. Now, what is symbolism? Symbolism is using symbol symbols like you can say an object. The symbol can be characters. It can also be figures or colors. Right? And they are used to represent an idea or a concept. Now, out of all these four options that I gave you, the symbol used in this poem is an object. The object is the bonsai tree. And what concept or idea is it representing? So the bonsai tree, it represents women and their potential, while the pot symbolizing societal constraints and control. Right? So object is bonsai tree represents women, and pot or the gardener, they are they're what? They are society, that is confining, that is constraining, and also controlling the growth of. I hope all these figure of speech are clear to you all. If you have any question or query, please write in the comment section. Do like, share it with your friends. So these figure of speech, they collectively, so we did four figure of speech: metaphor, imagery, irony, and symbolism. And all of them, they enhance the poem's critique of how society imposes limitation on women, shaping their identity and destinies just as a gardener shapes bonsai tree. Thank you. Have a good day. God bless you all.